Hello everybody, I love you, I trust you now. I finally am ready to bring you and show you the arc, all right? And this is the beginning. This is only a diagram to understand the general concept, the general idea of the pumped hydro system, all right? Initially, I had it so there would be a float that creates a pump for seawater to get brought up to the height of a reservoir. So this is just a large container. This is like a fuel storage container or an oil storage container for a refinery. But I just use this to demonstrate the concept. In any case, when the tide goes up and down, pumps can push water through pipes up to the top of a high place, like a cliff, like some type of geological extrusion, like the Palisades, for example, or any other type of cliff formed by any other type of geological process. But anyway, the important thing is that we have height. We have water up at a height. Think of water as being molecules, and molecules being millions of little BBs, right? And so these BBs fall down a chute that turns a turbine. In this case, it's like a water wheel, but it's a turbine that turns a generator or an alternator that pumps electricity down through the lines to the house, to people's homes, businesses, to factories, to warehouses, anywhere that needs lights, electrical power. So here's the concept again, just in case you didn't get it. And this is the arc. This is what will allow us to go forward without fossil fuels, without dinosaur and ancient marsh oil pressurized and buried and turned into useful, very useful condensed form of energy. This is how we do it without that. So again, you have a float, pushes up on an arm, that pushes down in a cylinder with a piston. The piston displaces water, pushes it up into a reservoir. This could be a dammed reservoir. It doesn't have to be a fuel storage tank. Please, this is just to get the concept across to people, because people have all seen these type of storage containers. Doesn't have to be a storage container, like I said. It can be a dammed reservoir, something at a height where you can valve down water over a turbine, have that spin at the right speed to produce the right amplitude and frequency of electrical power. All right, and like I said, this is the part of the system I understand the least. I don't really understand how turbines work with stators and magnetic fields and electrical fields, and how aggravating them pumps electricity somewhere. But I do know that water and electricity have a similarity in that water needs a pump to make water move, and electricity needs a moving conductor that can contains a cloud of electrons around it. And the movement of it, well, that's the pumping. That's what allows for alternating current, especially alternating current. There would be some other type of electrical device that could change the alternating current into a direct current system, but I haven't worked that out yet. All right, when I do understand it, I'll redo this diagram completely to account for the new understanding, the better understanding of how electricity is produced and how it's transmitted. Any case, this is a rudimentary version of the tidal pump. Now, this doesn't have to be solely working off of tides. It could also be it could also transfer the slight variances in water height in the form of waves, waves crashing onto a shoreline. And you can use actually the little movements of whatever float you have on the waves to produce pressure, water pressure, fluid pressure. They actually do this right now. I don't know what the name of it is exactly, but it's using waves to create pressure, and then the pressure can be released somewhere for some purpose, whether it's the turning of some type of flywheel, the turning of some type of arm or piston to push and create pressure. Something like that happens. There are tidal dams where they dam off water the tides bring in, and then they allow it to run out through a turbine to create electricity that way. But the beauty of this design is that none of that water is lost, and none of that water has to be at a small height difference. That water can be piped in narrow diameter pipelines up to a height, up in the mountains, up in high valleys, up in high plains, anywhere where you have a different height, where you'll have flowing water that comes down at a velocity that's able to, with its mass and inertia, push and spin a turbine. So here is a conceptual idea of the arc. It's here. It's not a machine that requires any extra energy put into it. All we need to do is have the energy in the form of gasoline, in the form of diesel fuel, in the form of electric batteries, to build the system that will give us perpetual energy. And I'm serious, it's perpetual energy. It's energy from the tides, energy from waves, energy from wind, energy from the sun, photovoltaic, or also solar power that just heats up water, and that difference in temperature and pressure can move something that produces electricity or produces some type of mechanical energy that does produce electricity. So that is the nuts and bolts of this design. I'm gonna bring you up close to the poster to show you the different components. Here's where you might want to hit the record button on your screen recordings. And like I said, I was hiding this from you because I thought that maybe people would steal this or they would hide this. But I have faith in humanity now. And I think that you'll put this to good use. Just keep the system together. Reproduce it everywhere so that people aren't cold, so that people aren't without some type of mechanical energy to help them harvest things, to help them distribute things.